Welcome to AI Brief, episode 191. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, three really fascinating developments shaking things up in AI. We're talking about creativity, teamwork between AIs, and even AI understanding human thought.
Yeah, it's quite a mix. We've got a viral music mystery solved, AI models actually learning to collaborate,
Yeah.
and an AI that predicts human decisions with surprising accuracy.
It sounds pretty mind-bending. Let's jump right in. First up, this story about an AI band. It really caught my eye, so picture this. A band called the Velvet Sundown just appears on Spotify.
Out of thin air, basically.
Exactly. No website, no social media, no backstory, a complete zero digital footprint. But then, bam, they dropped 2 albums in June, and suddenly they've got over 500,000 monthly listeners.
500,000, that's huge for a totally unknown act.
Right. So naturally, people online, especially on Reddit, started digging. They were like, hang on, how is this band so popular but also completely invisible? Something felt off.
And their instincts were spot on. Rolling Stone eventually broke the story, confirming it was, well, an art hoax. The music was largely generated using Suno AI.
Suno AI.
Yeah. And interestingly, Deezer, another music platform, had apparently flagged some tracks as potentially AI-generated, but Spotify, at least back then, didn't have rules requiring disclosure for AI music.
So the tracks just blended in.
Pretty much. They ended up on over 30 playlists, reaching this massive audience who likely had no idea they were listening to AI.
And the human element, was there anyone involved?
Well, there was this person, an adjunct member named Andrew Freelon. Initially, he was all over social media dismissing the AI rumors, calling it just marketing and trolling.
Playing coy, huh?
Totally. But eventually he had to admit that, yes, Suno AI was used for at least some of the music. He specifically mentioned using Suno's persona feature.
The one that keeps the vocal style consistent.
Exactly. So it wasn't just random AI noise. There was an effort to create a cohesive sound, a specific artificial artist identity.
It's such a strange situation. What does this really mean for music, you think, as these AI tools get better and better?
That's the big question, isn't it? Will we care if the creator is real or not?
Yeah.
We see it with VTubers, right? People connect with the content, the personality, even if it's an avatar.
True. Good content is good content.
Maybe. If an AI can generate something that resonates with 500,000 people, does the origin story still matter as much? The Velvet Sundown certainly tested that boundary.
It really does make you think about what authenticity even means anymore. Okay, shifting gears a bit, but still on the theme of AI doing surprising things. Let's talk about collaboration.
Yes, Sakana AI.
Right. They've developed this new algorithm, ADMCTS, and the really cool part is it gets different AI models, even ones that normally compete, to actually work together on complex problems.
It's like forming an AI supergroup. Instead of just one powerful model trying to do everything, this system, ADMCTS, figures out how to combine the strengths of models like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek.
So it's like an orchestra conductor for AIs.
Kind of. It uses this adaptive search technique to guide them. And the results are pretty striking. They tested it on these really hard ARC AGI2 puzzles designed to test fluid intelligence and reasoning.
How much better did the team do?
Significantly better. The collaborative system solved 30% of the puzzles. The best single model on its own only managed 23%. That 7-point jump is a really big deal in this kind of research.
Wow. So it's not just putting them in the same room, it's making them genuinely work synergistically. What did they learn about how they collaborated?
That's the fascinating part. The system, ADMCTS, dynamically figured out which model was best for which part of the problem, sometimes switching between them.
So, like, one AI is good at strategy, another's better at the detailed coding part.
Exactly like that. One might lay out the plan, another executes a specific step. But even more interesting, they found the models could build on each other's attempts, even the mistakes.
Learning from errors, like a real team.
Pretty much. One AI might spot a flaw in another's reasoning or output and then correct it, leading them towards the right answer. It's a self-correcting, adaptive team.
That feels like a fundamental shift. What does this mean for the bigger picture in AI development?
Well, it strongly suggests that the future might not just be about building one single giant AI to rule them all.
Right.
Instead, we might see more focus on creating these swarms or teams of specialized AIs, coordinated by smart orchestrators like ADMCTS. Sakana AI actually open-sourced the framework, calling it TreeQuest.
So others can build these AI teams too.
Exactly. It's pushing towards a future where collaborative AI intelligence might be the key to the biggest breakthroughs.
Okay, from AI teams to an AI trying to replicate a single human mind. This next one sounds like something straight out of science fiction. Helmholtz Munich developed a model called Centaur. And the claim is it can simulate human decision-making and behavior with almost scary accuracy, a digital twin of our thought process.
It sounds like a huge claim, but the methodology is pretty interesting. They started with Meta's Llama model, a powerful base LLM,
Okay, a solid foundation.
and then they fine-tuned it using data from, get this, 60,000 human participants across 160 different psychology experiments.
60,000 people. Wow. What kind of experiments?
All sorts. Things testing memory, problem solving, how people make choices when gambling or facing uncertainty, even how biases affect decisions. Basically, they fed it tons of data on how humans actually think and act in controlled settings.
So it learned our patterns, our quirks, our heuristics.
That's the idea, to build a model that doesn't just process language, but replicates the underlying patterns of human cognition.
And did it work? How well does Centaur actually predict what humans would do?
Remarkably well, apparently. It showed it could accurately predict human choices across a wide range of tasks, including tasks it wasn't specifically trained on.
Better than existing models.
Yes, significantly better. It outperformed 14 traditional cognitive models. These are established frameworks used in psychology on 31 out of 32 different benchmark tasks.
That's almost unbelievable. 31 out of 32.
It covers areas like gambling choices, memory recall, problem solving. It suggests Centaur has captured something fundamental about human decision patterns that previous models missed.
So what are the practical uses for an AI like this, if it can predict our behavior so well?
The immediate potential is huge for scientific research. Think of it as a virtual laboratory.
Running experiments without needing real people.
Sort of. Scientists could test hypotheses about cognitive processes, explore theories of mental health, or even simulate how populations might react to certain policies or information campaigns, all much faster and cheaper than traditional studies.
A shortcut for understanding ourselves.
In a way, it could dramatically accelerate research into the brain and behavior, but it also raises a deeper point. If Centaur is this successful, it suggests that maybe human cognition, our decision-making, is actually more predictable, more pattern-based than we often like to think.
That's a profound thought. That our complex thoughts might follow predictable enough rules for an AI to simulate them accurately.
It certainly hints at the possibility and raises questions about what future, even more advanced AIs might be able to simulate about human society.
Definitely something to chew on. Okay, those were our main deep dives, but the AI world never sleeps, right? Let's quickly hit some other important updates.
Absolutely. First off, Baidu's making moves with MuseSteamer, a new model generating 10-second video clips with synced visuals, sound, and dialogue. Very multimodal.
And Baidu also open-sourced their big language model, Ernie. People are saying that's as big a deal as DeepSeek's release earlier this year. Shows China's pushing hard on OpenAI.
Then there's Replit Agent, the coding assistant. It got a major upgrade. They're calling it a senior developer now. It can search the web, handle bigger code bases, think longer.
Supposedly giving a 10–15% boost on complex tasks. The goal is making apps just work without needing coding skills.
Perplexity launched a new high-end subscription, Perplexity Max, $200 a month.
Steep. Who's that for?
Power users, basically. Creators, researchers. It gives unlimited access to their labs for making apps, presentations, plus top models like O3 Pro and Claude Opus 4, and early access to their Comet browser.
Meanwhile, OpenAI is doubling down on infrastructure, expanding its deal with Oracle for potentially 4.5 gigawatts of data center capacity for Stargate. That's a lot of power.
Just shows the immense energy AI demands. And speaking of big numbers, Anthropic is apparently on track for $4 billion in annual revenue.
4 times what they projected. The commercial side of AI is exploding.
And a little hint from Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis, suggesting future playable world models for their VO3 video generator. Imagine interactive AI-generated worlds.
Like the holodeck, but real. Wow. And Huawei isn't sitting still either. They open-sourced several Pangu models and the reasoning tech behind them.
Notably trained on their own Ascend chips, building a whole ecosystem, hardware included.
Finally, AI startup Lovable is reportedly raising $150 million at nearly a $2 billion valuation. The investment just keeps pouring in.
The pace is just relentless.
It really is. Before we wrap up, let's quickly list some trending tools people might want to check out.
Okay, rapid fire. Pangu Pro, that new open-source reasoning model from Huawei we just mentioned.
FreePic now offers unlimited AI image generation for their Premium Plus users.
Perplexity, that new max tier for advanced access.
Higgsfield Sol, an advanced image AI, now with free daily generations available.
Olive helps you generate admin dashboards quickly, just from a text prompt.
VoiceSpark for generating natural-sounding speech and cloning voices with AI.
Diet lets you build unlimited AI apps with no coding needed.
FlyAC AI tool for generating and editing both video and images.
And AutoHive for building and running AI agents to automate tasks.
Whew, what a rundown. From AI pop stars to collaborating machines and mind-reading models, plus all the tools and infrastructure, it's almost hard to keep up.
It really underscores how fast things are moving and how deeply AI is starting to intertwine with, well, everything. Creativity, problem solving, even our understanding of ourselves.
A truly fascinating time to be watching this space. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the AI landscape.
Thanks for joining us.
Make sure to follow AI Brief wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss future updates. And if you found this useful, please share it with others curious about AI. Until next time.